Imagine a bird with two wings, one on the right and one on the left. Each wing flaps furiously, trying to steer the bird in its own direction. Yet they are part of the same body. The more they struggle against each other, the more chaotic and erratic the bird's flight becomes, threatening to send it into a nosedive. This bird is our political system, and its desperate flapping represents the chaos and division caused by our political parties. Today we delve into a topic that cuts deep into the heart of our society, the blatant disregard for human life that might be perpetuated by this very system. Now, whether you like Trump or not, the recent shooting underscores a much larger issue that transcends individual personalities or party lines. This isn't about one man. It's about a deeply flawed system that thrives on division and chaos. So, while I like to stay out of politics, I live here on this soil and have to watch the puppet show happen. The facades, the fake news, and the oblivious who are sleeping. The stark reality of the Trump shooting is a violent act that shakes the very foundations of our collective humanity. It's a reminder of how fragile our society has become, where political tensions can escalate into violence. This incident is not just an isolated event, it's a symptom of a system that has lost sight of human dignity and respect. The indifference towards Trump is mirrored by the insanity of keeping Biden in office, despite his ceaseless incompetence. Both situations, again, highlight a system that fails to prioritize capable leadership and the well-being of its people. It's not about picking sides. It's about recognizing that the system itself is broken and perpetuates leaders who are unfit for their roles. Let's talk about the political spectrum. Many of us identify with the right or the left, believing that one side holds the solutions to our problems. But the truth is, the right wing and the left wing are part of the same bird. They might flap in different directions, but they are connected by the same body, sustaining a system designed to keep us divided and distracted. The right blames the left, and the left blames the right, creating a cycle of blame and resentment. But this dichotomy is an illusion. Both sides are entrenched in a system that prioritizes power and control over the well-being of the people. Whether through policy decisions, economic strategies, or social issues, the end goal is often the same: to maintain the status quo and protect the interests of those in power. Consider the media's role in this. News outlets, driven by ratings and profits, sensationalize every incident, fueling anger and division. They frame stories in a way that pits one side against the other, reinforcing the illusion of choice and creating an environment where extremism thrives. This isn't about informing the public, it's about controlling the narrative and keeping us locked in a perpetual state of conflict. Our electoral system is another glaring example. We are often presented with candidates who are two sides of the same coin, both deeply embedded in corrupt political structure. The promises of change and reform are rarely fulfilled because the system itself resists transformation. True reform would mean dismantling the very foundations that these politicians rely on for power. The disregard for human life is evident in policy decisions that prioritize profits over people. Healthcare, education, and social services are often sacrificed on the altar of economic gain. The marginalized and vulnerable populations suffer the most, while those in power continue to amass wealth and influence. This is not just a failure of individual leaders, but of a system that devalues human life and dignity. So what can we do in the face of such overwhelming systemic flaws? First, we must recognize that real change comes from the grassroots level. It's about building communities that prioritize empathy, compassion, and mutual respect. The golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. It's about holding our leaders accountable and demanding transparency and integrity. We must also reject the illusion of choice represented by the right and left dichotomy. True progress comes from finding common ground and working together to address the root causes of our societal issues. This means looking beyond party lines and focusing on the principles of justice, equality, and human dignity. So as we reflect on the Trump shooting and the broader issues it represents, let us remember that the power to change lies within us. We can choose to perpetuate the cycle of division and hate, or we can choose to build a society that values every human life, regardless of political affiliation. After the shooting, Trump raised his fist in the air. He raised it in defiance. He raised it to show strength to his supporters, and he raised it as a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. I just made a video on McKenna's concept of a collective hallucination, where our shared beliefs and narratives shape a distorted reality. The most prolific truth in all of this is that our system feeds on our division and disillusionment. The right and the left may appear different, but they are part of the same mechanism designed to keep us distracted from the real issues. Until we break free from this collective hallucination and see the system for what it truly is, we will remain pawns in a game that devalues our humanity. Thanks for listening, and keep questioning everything. Humanfluence out.